Picture this. 2 months ago, she couldn't keep her hands off you, texted you constantly, initiated everything, looked at you like you were the only man in the world. Now, you're sitting across from her at dinner, and she barely looks up from her phone. You reach for her hand, she pulls away. You try to kiss her. She gives you her cheek. You ask what's wrong. She says nothing. I still love you. But her body language says ice. Her actions say stranger. Her energy says done. And you're standing there confused as hell because the words and the behavior don't match. You watch this shift happen, and it makes no sense. How can she love you but act like she doesn't? How can feelings still exist but warmth disappear completely? How can the same person who was obsessed with you 3 months ago now treat you like a roommate she tolerates? You text her. Takes 3 hours to respond. Hey, you suggest plans. Sure, without enthusiasm. You initiate conversation about her day. Fine, while scrolling Instagram. You try to cuddle on the couch. She stiffens, makes excuse, goes to bedroom. Same woman who 6 months ago couldn't get close enough to you. The math doesn't work. Love should equal warmth. If she loves you, she should act like it. But she doesn't. And the gap between what she says and what she does is driving you insane. This is why she goes cold even when she still loves you. Not because the love died. Because love and warmth became separated. And once separated, they almost never reconnect. What if I told you that going cold while still loving is a specific temporal process that happens in predictable phases? That she's not lying when she says she loves you, but the love has become irrelevant to how she behaves? That there's a point in the timeline where emotional truth and behavioral reality completely separate, and you're watching it happen in real time? Millions of men are experiencing this exact pattern right now. Woman goes from hot to cold over months, says she still loves them, acts like she doesn't. They blame themselves. I'm not doing enough. I'm not being good enough. I need to try harder. But you don't understand the timeline. You don't see the phases. You don't realize you're re-watching a temporal process that has nothing to do with how hard you try. I've watched this progression destroy relationships across more time than you can imagine. Same timeline, same phases, same inevitable cooling. Today I'm going to map exactly why she goes cold, even when she still loves you, phase by phase, and why once the process starts, it's almost impossible to reverse. But understand this. What you're about to learn will show you that the moment she goes cold, the relationship is already over, even if she doesn't know it yet. This is timeline analysis. Pay very close attention. Here's what mortals don't understand about the cooling process. It's not that she stops loving you. It's that love becomes disconnected from behavior. In phase 1, love and warmth are the same thing. What she feels, she expresses. In phase 4, love might still exist as a concept, but it's been completely separated from how she acts toward you. A feeling is there. The warmth is gone. And warmth is what actually matters in a relationship, not the abstract concept of love. Of course, mortals believe love and warmth are the same thing. Thousands of years of observing the opposite, and you still use the word love to mean both feeling and behavior. As if words change biology. This isn't opinion. This is temporal observation. I've watched thousands of women go cold while claiming they still love. Same progression, same phases, same cooling pattern. You see, mortals believe that if someone loves you, they'll show it. That feelings translate directly into behavior. That love equals warmth automatically. But here's what actually happens over time. Love is a conscious acknowledgement. Warmth is an unconscious response. And the unconscious response dies long before the conscious acknowledgement. She can consciously know she loves you, while unconsciously not feeling anything toward you anymore. The timeline separates the two. And once separated, they almost never reconnect. Let me show you the timeline phase by phase. Phase 1, months 0 through 3. Initial infatuation. This is the baseline. She's obsessed. Initiates constantly. Can't keep hands off you. Texts multiple times daily. Wants to see you all the time. Makes plans. Brings you into her life. Introduces you to friends. Posts you on social media. The warmth is overwhelming. Touch is constant. Eye contact is intense. Energy is electric. This is what you think is normal. This is what you expect to continue. But this phase has an expiration date built in, and you don't see it coming. During phase 1, love and warmth are completely synchronized. What she feels internally matches what she expresses externally. Her brain is flooded with dopamine, oxytocin, all the bonding chemicals. The neurological state produces both the feeling and the behavior. You're experiencing the full expression of female attraction at peak levels. But here's what you don't know. Peak levels always decline. The question isn't if, it's when and how fast. Phase 2, months 3 through 6, the normalization. The obsession starts fading, not because anything went wrong, because brains normalize to stimulus. She's not texting as much. You notice but dismiss it. She's busy. That's normal. She's not initiating touch as frequently. You notice but rationalize it. The honeymoon phase is ending. That's healthy. She's not making as many plans. You notice but accept it. She's getting comfortable. That's good, right? And on the surface, things still seem fine. She still says I love you, still sees you regularly, still has sex, but the intensity has decreased. The frequency has dropped. The energy has cooled slightly. And you've entered the phase where you can either arrest the cooling or watch it accelerate. I've watched this phase 2 transition across millennia. Ancient women experienced it too. The difference? Ancient relationship structures prevented phase 3 from occurring. Social expectations, limited options, community pressure. These created external warmth maintenance, even when internal warmth faded. Modern relationships have none of these structures. So phase 2 flows naturally into phase 3. And phase 3 is catastrophic. And here's what they don't tell you about the timeline. Phase 3, months 6 through 12. The withdrawal. This is where cold really sets in. She's no longer pretending enthusiasm. Sex frequency has dropped dramatically. Maybe once a week if you initiate. Maybe less. She never initiates anymore. Kissing has become perfunctory. Quick pecks instead of passion. She doesn't want to be touched outside of sexual context. Pulls away when you try to cuddle. Conversation has become logistics. What time are you coming over? Did you pay the bill? What are we doing this weekend? No depth, no curiosity about you, no real engagement. But here's the confusing part. If you ask her how she feels, she says, I love you. And she means it. On some level, she does love you. She loves the idea of you. She loves what you represent. She loves the stability you provide. She loves not being alone. But she doesn't feel warmth toward you anymore. The love is conceptual. The coldness is visceral. And visceral always wins over conceptual in terms of behavior. Let me break down what's happening in her nervous system during phase 3. The arousal response to you is dead. When she sees you, her body doesn't activate anymore. No dopamine spike. No excitement. No anticipation. You've become neutral stimulus, like furniture, present but unexciting. Her brain has completely adapted to you. And adapted means boring. Meanwhile, she still consciously values the relationship, thinks you're a good partner, appreciates what you do, recognizes you treat her well. So when she says she loves you, she's reporting her conscious evaluation. But her unconscious system, which controls arousal and warmth, has checked out completely. The disconnect between conscious and unconscious is complete. During phase 3, You're experiencing a woman who intellectually wants to want you, but biologically doesn't. She wishes she felt warmth. She knows she should. She might even feel guilty that she doesn't. But wishing doesn't create feeling. The nervous system either responds or it doesn't, and hers has stopped responding to you. You're in a relationship with someone whose mind says stay, but whose body says leave. And that internal conflict manifests as coldness. The coldness isn't intentional cruelty. It's unconscious withdrawal from stimulus that no longer produces arousal. Marcus experienced this exact pattern. Noticed Sarah getting cold around month 7. Decided to be the perfect boyfriend. Planned elaborate dates every weekend for 3 months. Expensive restaurants, shows, weekend getaways. Bought her thoughtful gifts. Increased verbal affection. Told her he loved her more frequently. Did everything the relationship advice said. Sarah appreciated all of it. Thanked him every time. Told her friends he was so sweet. Posted the date photos on Instagram. But the coldness increased. Because Marcus was trying to solve arousal death with more predictable niceness. More of what killed the arousal in the first place. The elaborate dates followed the same pattern. The gifts came at expected times. The affection was reliable. He made himself more perfectly boring. By month 12, Sarah was completely checked out. Still said she loved him. Still participated in the relationship. But the warmth was gone. Marcus couldn't understand it. I did everything right. Yes, you did. That's why it failed. Because effort doesn't restart a dead arousal response. You can't logic someone into feeling attraction. You can't try hard enough to make their nervous system activate. By phase 3, the response is gone. And bringing it back requires complete pattern disruption, not increased effort within the same pattern. Phase 4, months 12 plus. The roommate stage. This is where the relationship exists in form, but not substance. She's still with you, still says she loves you, but you're cohabitants, not lovers. Sex is rare, maybe monthly, maybe less. Often she's avoiding it completely. Touch is non-existent outside of sex. Conversation is purely functional. Her life is increasingly separate from yours. She has activities you're not part of, friends you don't see, interests you don't share. You're living parallel lives that occasionally intersect for logistical reasons. The warmth is completely gone, replaced by cold coexistence. But ask her if she loves you? Yes. Ask her if she wants to break up? No, she's not lying. She does love you in the way you love a family member, with appreciation and history, but without passion. She doesn't want to break up because breaking up requires energy and disruption and facing uncertainty. Staying is easier, familiar, low effort. So she stays, cold but present, loving in words but frozen in action. And you re-trapped in a relationship with someone who loves you enough to not leave, but not enough to actually show up with warmth. Let me show you what phase 4 looks like from the inside. You come home from work. She's on the couch, phone in hand, barely looks up. Hey, you lean in to kiss her. She tilts her head, gives you her cheek. You sit down next to her, try to initiate conversation about your day. She responds with, that's good, while scrolling. You suggest getting dinner together this weekend. Sure, without looking up. Zero enthusiasm, zero engagement. Later that night, you initiate sex. She participates, but minimally. Lies there, lets it happen. No passion, no reciprocation, no indication she wants you. Just compliance to maintain the relationship. Afterward, she immediately gets up, goes to the bathroom, comes back, gets in bed, turns away from you. No cuddling, no intimacy, no connection. You're lying there next to someone who feels like a stranger. And when you express this, when you say, I feel like you're not here anymore, she says, I love you. I'm just tired. Work has been stressful. It's not about you, But it is about you. The coldness is specifically directed at you because other people get her warmth. You see her laugh with her friends, engage enthusiastically with her coworkers, light up when talking to her family. The capacity for warmth still exists. She's not depressed. She's not shut down globally. She's shut down specifically toward you. Her nervous system has categorized you as non-arousing, and that categorization is brutally specific. The warmth she denies you, she gives freely to others. Because they haven't been categorized as boring yet, they still produce novelty response. You don't. The cruel irony of phase 4 is this. She's cold to you while maintaining warmth elsewhere. You watch her be the version of herself you fell in love with, just not with you. The woman who used to look at you like you were everything now gives that energy to everyone except you. And you're left wondering what you did wrong when the answer is nothing. You just became familiar, and familiarity killed the warmth. In all my time observing human pair bonding, this is the cruelest timeline. Ancient pair bonds could survive the cooling because external structures maintained the relationship regardless of warmth. Modern relationships require warmth to justify continuation. But the timeline kills warmth while maintaining just enough love to prevent clean breaks. So modern couples exist in phase 4 indefinitely. Cold coexistence, neither warm enough to thrive nor cold enough to end. A relationship purgatory sustained by the word love, even as the feeling has frozen solid. But here's where this gets truly devastating. Once phase 4 sets in, the relationship is functionally over, even though it continues. She might stay for years, might even marry you, have kids with you, build a life, but the warmth will never return. The cooling is permanent. Her nervous system has learned the pattern. You equal no arousal. And that association, once solidified, doesn't reverse. You can change everything about yourself. Lose weight, make more money, become more successful. She intellectually appreciates it, recognize you're improving, acknowledge your efforts, but her autonomic response won't change. You're categorized, and categories are sticky. And here's what makes the timeline almost impossible to reverse. At each phase, men do exactly the wrong thing. Phase 2, they get comfortable. Phase 3, they try harder within the same pattern. Phase 4, they tolerate cold hoping warmth will return. Each response accelerates the cooling. The correct response at each phase is counterintuitive. Phase 2 requires creating space when you want closeness. Phase 3 requires pattern disruption when you want to try harder. Phase 4 requires willingness to end it when you want to save it. But men don't know this, so they respond naturally. And natural responses to the cooling process guarantee the cooling continues. Most mortals watch the timeline unfold and think she changed. She's not the same person I fell in love with. She used to be warm. Now she's cold. What happened to her? But she didn't change. The timeline changed her response to you. The woman who was warm in phase 1 is the same woman who's cold in phase 4. The difference isn't her personality. It's her nervous system's adaptation to prolonged exposure to you without novelty. She's still capable of warmth. She's just not capable of warmth toward you anymore. The timeline killed it. And once the timeline kills something, it stays dead. Mortals spent millennia developing complex mating rituals, social structures, and relationship frameworks, and still haven't figured out that adaptation kills arousal. Almost impressive. And here's the kicker that makes this completely hopeless. She doesn't understand the timeline either. She experiences the coldness, feels guilty about it, wishes she felt differently, tries to force warmth, can't, doesn't know why, blames herself. Maybe I'm broken. Maybe I can't feel passion in long-term relationships. Maybe this is just what love becomes. She doesn't realize she's experiencing a normal timeline progression, that the cooling is biological, not personal. and her nervous system adapted exactly as it's designed to adapt. So she's confused too, and her confusion makes her defensive when you point out the coldness. I do love you. I'm just tired. You're being needy. It's not that cold. She's not gaslighting intentionally. She's reporting her conscious experience while being unaware of her unconscious withdrawal. The disconnect between what she thinks she feels and what her body actually does is complete. The timeline creates a situation where both people are confused. Both are suffering, both are trying, and both are failing because neither understands the temporal process destroying the warmth. He thinks he needs to try harder. She thinks she needs to want him more. Both are approaching the problem with effort and intention. But the problem isn't effort. It's adaptation. And adaptation doesn't reverse through effort. It reverses through environmental change. And environmental change means fundamental relationship disruption, which neither of them is willing to do. So they stay locked in the timeline, progressing slowly from phase 3 to phase 4, from cold to frozen, from roommates to strangers who share a lease, until one of them finally breaks and ends it, or they settle into permanent cold coexistence justified by the word love. So let me make this crystal clear. She goes cold even when she still loves you, because love is a conscious acknowledgement and warmth is an unconscious response. And the timeline separates the two through a predictable 4-phase progression that kills arousal while maintaining just enough attachment to prevent clean endings. The cooling isn't about you being inadequate. It's about prolonged exposure without novelty-killing nervous system activation. And once activation dies, warmth dies, regardless of how much conscious love remains. So what do you do with this information? First, understand that coldness means the timeline has progressed to at least phase 3, maybe phase 4. And at those phases, standard relationship repair doesn't work. More communication, more dates, more effort, these intensify existing patterns. They don't disrupt them. And only disruption reverses cooling at advanced phases. Then, recognize that her saying she loves you while being cold isn't dishonesty. It's the gap between conscious acknowledgement and unconscious response. She does love you conceptually. Her body has just stopped responding to you viscerally. The love is real. The coldness is real. Both exist simultaneously. And the coldness is what actually determines relationship viability, not the love. And finally, accept that if she's been cold for months, the relationship is likely already over, even if it hasn't ended yet. Warmth rarely returns once it's been gone that long. Her nervous system has solidified the categorization. You equal no arousal. Changing that requires complete relationship reset. New environment, new patterns, new everything. Most couples can't do that while staying together. So the coldness persists until someone finally ends it, or they settle into permanent cold coexistence. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The timeline that turns warmth to ice is a normal biological process that happens in most long-term relationships. Modern relationships just don't have the external structures to survive it. So couples either break when cold sets in, or they persist in cold relationships justified by the word love, even though the feeling is frozen. And she can honestly say she loves you while treating you like a stranger. Because in her mind, she does love you. In her body, she's already gone, and bodies determine behavior more than minds. This is what I've observed across thousands of years. Women going cold in long-term pair bonds while maintaining attachment. Ancient structures kept couples together through the cold. Duty, children, economics, religion, social pressure. Modern structures don't. So modern men experience the cold and think something is uniquely wrong. It's not. The cold is normal. What's different is you can't survive it anymore. Ancient men stayed through the cold because external forces required it. Modern men either leave or suffer in relationships with women who love them, but don't feel anything toward them anymore. You have a choice. You can stay with someone who loves you but is cold. Accept that warmth won't return. Live in phase 4 indefinitely. Tell yourself love is enough, even when warmth is gone. Settle for coexistence justified by history and attachment. Or you can recognize that coldness at advanced phases means the relationship died already. That staying is prolonging death, not saving life. That her love, while real, doesn't matter if her body has withdrawn. That you deserve warmth, not just the concept of love. That the timeline has run its course. And that endings, while painful, are more honest than cold coexistence. She's not lying when she says she loves you. The word just stopped meaning warmth, and warmth is what matters. I'll be watching.